billions and billions of thought cavities. These prerequisite steps to learning telekinesis. Breathing and vision. You feel me? This is very important. I'm
gonna tell you. I'm gonna cut you off real fast. Why not? I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong about that, right? Because I know specifically the thrust in TK, whether it be the thrust or the pull. I know specifically it has everything to do with your heartbeat, even before your breath. So I know that's how you were wrong. That's how I know you go out. That's how I know you don't listen. That's how I know you don't listen to your heart.
We can talk about that. I don't agree with that because that don't.
Have you ever heard of brain and heart cohesion? Why not?
Hold on. I want to talk about that because that makes no sense to me. You say it has to do with the heartbeat. But
I just told you why.
Hold on, Soccer Mom. I want to hear him out.
Go ahead.
So you say that has to do with the heartbeat before it has to do with the breath. That's incorrect. You have to. Your breathing, the way you breathe, regulates your heartbeat. So when I'm doing a spirit shower and I'm releasing DMT, I have to slow my heart rate down to a very low state and then be able to speed it up. How can I slow my heart down and speed it up? By breathing slow and holding the breath. If you hold your breath, your heart will start to speed up rapidly. And this is you. So you need to breathe before you feel me. The heartbeat is correct. But breathing is first and foremost, so you can regulate.
You're 100% on that, bro. But the one part that you're disconnecting from the pulling of the root chakra to connect to the heart piece is this. Listen to me, because this might actually advantage you really well. Is that when you pull from the root chakra into the heart, there's a point where the heart chakra opens up. I'm pretty sure you've experienced that. It's a relaxing feeling, right? So during that moment, that's when the heart chakra is at its strongest, right? So if you can learn how to get into that awe state and flex at the same time, your TK is OP, right? But it's hard for people to get into a flex state in that awe state because of their mental, because of feelings. The feeling makes them want to be like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of them like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But let me tell you how you're correct on everything you said, but you're disconnected from one thing, right? Your heartbeat is always going. You can hold your breath and your heart will still beat. You feel me? So you have to regulate not your breath before your heart. You actually have to regulate your heart before your breath. And
so look though.
Hold on, listen. This is important.
I gotta
and the way that you do that when you're doing TK is that you have to feel the magnetism.
Move.
You have to feel the magnetism.
Yeah.
And then when you feel the magnetism, you can feel your heartbeat.
Move.
And then you start regulating your breath to control the heartbeat. But you have to feel the heart before you can control it with the breath.
So this is the only way to control your heartbeat. Move. Hey, just sit the fuck down. Move. So your heartbeat is beating subconsciously. You have no control over your heartbeat until you start to breathe. That's the only way you can control your heart. I disagree with the other way you said it. You gotta, you feel me, feel it. You have to, the only way to control your heart regulation is by breathing. If you subconsciously, if you're not breathing consciously, meaning just taking regular breaths, then your heartbeat is gonna control by itself.
Let me give you a quick example. Let me give you a quick example of what I'm saying. To hear your heartbeat, you need to hold your breath and go.
Exactly.
So you can't say that the breath is before the heartbeat because you have to find that pulse. You have to find that.
You gotta hold your breath before you can hear it, though.
And all that consciously.
You have to hold the breath before you can hear it. So breathe.
Right. But the heart is
from the brain.
beating, though. The heart was beating before The heart was beating before you held your breath.
Exactly. You had to choose. You had to choose to consciously hold your breath. That's why it's brain and heart cohesion, right? So when you're choosing consciously, your brain is then choosing to control the breath. The breath is a symptom of the brain choosing that cycle. And so when you then choose that cycle with the brain, the heart then goes into sync with your brain. That's why there's two toroidal fields in the
That's
body.
exactly
There's the
what
one
that
that
is.
goes from the
I didn't
heart
know that that's what
up
that
to,
was called.
I'm let me finish explaining. It goes from the heart up and down and around, and then there's another one that goes all the way from the feet through the heart to the brain and all the way down, right? It's important that our brain also affect how we feel because we consciously are feeling at a hyper level. All five senses, including the sixth one being intuition, right? We have to separate how we, the self, the three layers I mentioned before, is different from what's in our immediate surroundings. Only then can we then separate what we're feeling in our heart and how we're controlling and dropping into that meditative state and that balance between what is being pressed upon us. Now, mind you, our brain is doing computations as we're speaking. As you're listening to my voice, as you're smelling certain smells, your brain is constantly doing computation subconsciously, right? But when we consciously recognize those computations, we can then control them. Hence why Gu is talking about once you consciously start to breathe, like even what you're saying, why not? When you focus on that breathing first, you can drop your heart into that state because it's a conscious choice, but it all starts up in the brain, right? Otherwise, we're on autopilot. We're on autopilot at least 70% of the day until we actually stop and do that, what we need to do. Now you can finish talking, bro.
I just want to say this to Why Not. I'm just saying that this Why Not. You have to catch up to your heart. You ain't got to catch up to your breath. You feel me?
It's the other way around.
Nah, bro, because you control your breath. You don't control your heart until you have that, what he said, brain to heart cohesion through compression of breath.
So
you feel me?
all I'm gonna say is, G, y'all trying to tell me something about TK, something that I'm stronger than both of you on. So who should the people listen to, me or y'all, when it comes to TK? Because I can take them to the next level, G, like real talk. And it has to do with breathing. You feel me? Breath work and visualization. As I said, you feel me? There's billions of cavities in the brain. These cavities are filled with thought, ready to be stimulated. As we breathe in and visualize taking in light, you feel me? These thought cavities are aroused, bringing back memory and feeling that we never had. So, Gu, I know you know the feeling when you move an object, G. That feeling is like it's like you knew you could do it. Like soon as you get a certain feeling, it's a very subtle feeling, but once that object moved, you knew that you can do it. It's like a memory that was just activated. It feel like a memory. I'm like dead serious. Like every time I move an object, it's like an electrical. Some go off in the brain, and you feel it through your whole body. Like Joe,
You just said it yourself. If something goes off in the brain, electrical signals are the whole brain is an electromagnetic power box. So you're constantly sending signals. Those dendrites that are growing as you're talking and learning things, those are signals that are growing the dendrites in your brain. Right?
Okay.
But these dendrites also are being destroyed just as fast as they're being created. But it's over time, right?
I dismiss ego. He say, you keep saying that, why not? You still not being open to gaining more knowledge. Like, I don't know what's wrong with folks trying to give you advice. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I know I'm more advanced than, you feel me, the people that's trying to teach me, they should actually be my students, and I should be teaching them. Now, when I'm amongst other people that I train with that's way stronger than me telekinetically, I'm not really saying nothing. I'm soaking up their knowledge because I know the knowledge that they have can take me to the next level. You feel me? So I'm not against people giving me advice. I'm a student as well. But if I know I'm advanced, I know what I should be teaching, and I know who should be learning. you know. So it's other things that they can teach me and give me advice on that I'll take it. But when it comes to TK, I should be teaching them real talk though, and that
So
ain't got
so
nothing
let
to
me
do with
say
ego.
this though. Because see the thing about my idea of TK, why I got so much smoke with it, is not that I don't think it's impossible, but for a long time I studied shit like that. Like that was a fascinating thing to me. And so now recently I got some shit that will actually make TK even more real for people who don't believe it. And it coming from me sound crazy, but hey,
What
fuck it.
about
It's what
organite?
happens when you
What
do
about
research.
organite? That organite, G. That
But
organite
now
gonna
check this
enhance
out
it.
though. Check this out.
That organite.
Because what I learned about elephants, they do this form of telepathy. But it's not
Mm.
telepathy like we think, where we just create this thought in our brain and pass it. What happens is this thought pattern is emitted on a low frequency. It's still auditory, but it's on a low enough frequency to where certain ears not tuned to that frequency can't hear it. And what it
Mm-hmm.
can do, that vibration can be passed through solid objects. And
Mm-hmm.
they pass this low frequency sound with their trunks. They put it to the ground and it goes through the ground and hits another elephant's feet, and their feet bones feel that vibration and they can hear what the elephant is saying. So the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I say that is because with
That would be
TK,
like
this
telepathy.
could be what you saying. Yeah, that's telepathy. So with
Mm-hmm.
TK, this could be a version of what y'all been saying, that basically you can use a form of touch or senses without
Yes.
or without having that actual frequency on that level of fire or that level of water. It could be at a
Mm-hmm.
different frequency to still manipulate on that material. So that's why when I said I was debunking it, it was more to say that I don't think TK is for us to do positively. But I know it's possible if you put the
So
science together.
so we know how a hologram. I'm pretty sure y'all know how a hologram is. You feel me? Created, right? It's produced, right? A
Yeah.
hologram is a three-dimensional image produced by a laser. You feel me? So, like I was just breaking down my last download, I was breaking down how the eyes, you feel me, are lasers. Your eyes are literal lasers, because once that light hit the eye, the iris, the dark part around the pupil, the iris is it regulates how much light enters the eye, and then once it passes the iris, it hits the lens, the white part, the clear part of the eye behind the iris. The lens helps focus that light on the retina. So once it hit the retina, it makes it to the optic nerve behind the eye, which is connected to the brain, and it shoots those
Exactly.
electrical impulses to the brain. So look, when we take
Just
in
what
light,
I'm
our eyes are converting that light and condensing that light into a laser beam. Once the light hit the iris, by times it goes through the lens, the retina, when it hits the optic nerve, that light has been condensed into a laser beam, and that information or electrical impulses is shot off to the brain. And
Yep.
this is how a hologram is created, because our mind you have to create a hologram in your mind. So meaning in TK, okay, a hologram is created when a laser is shot off, and that laser hits a beam splitter. The beam splitter splits the beam into two. One floor of the beam goes in the direction focused on, the other one shoots off and hit a mirror. The mirror is not like a glass. A mirror is really a reflective surface. You feel me? So it ain't got to be glass. Any reflective surface is a mirror. So one part of the beam that was split shoots off in the direction it was focused on. The other part shoots off and hits a mirror, and both meet each other in mid-air. This is where the hologram is produced at. So when we looking at this object, you feel me, Joe? When we looking at any object and we want it to move, we have to visualize this shit. We can't just like I believe I can move this. This is divine knowledge itself. A knowing
But it ain't
thing.
about the belief though.
Hey,
It ain't.
let me,
It's a know. It's a knowing thing. You
Because
have
I
to
was gonna
know
say,
this.
bro,
If you
you
can
you
see
you're
this,
you're a whole contradiction to your whole movement, because nigga,
go ahead.
you talk about you only need truth, and you telling these niggas to do TK with belief. Like,
Hold on. So look though. Hold on. You just cut me off and you just made that up. That ain't what the fuck I'm saying. What you just cut me off and made some shit up, man. Everybody that know me knows why not tribe don't deal with beliefs. That's why I say you can't believe you can do this. This is a divine knowledge of self thing. It's a knowing thing. When you create a hologram and you envision anything, you have to know that you can do this. If you believe you,
but wouldn't you agree with me on this? Hey, why not? Wouldn't you agree with me on this though? Wouldn't you say that imagining shit with TK is the Navic level of TK?
It's not imagination. It's visuals. You feel me?
Imagination, nigga.
Okay, you could call it imagination, but if I was to just believe I can move an object, that ain't good enough. I have to know.
But now I know. Listen though, I was fucking with what you were saying though, bro, because when you said the science with the eye, that's perfect true. That's true. But then when I thought about the body don't do exactly how the eye does it. It doesn't condense into a laser. But but check it out though. Excuse me. The body got what we call the aura, which it don't come off in a laser like a line, but it comes off in a wave. So it's not a straight line, but it's a wave. Now, what telekinesis in theory is basically saying is that we can concentrate the wave into a laser if we practice hard enough.
If you can concentrate on the chi. But no, let me give y'all.
Because this wave, you forcing the wave in a direction.
Both of y'all an all moment. Both of you, what y'all are saying is 110% true. I can't even sit here and be like, no, why not? You're wrong, because everything he said was true. But like when you're doing TK, you can't just focus on being focused. You have other shit to focus on. That's where the subconscious Zen point comes with meditation, like you say, the subconscious point of like mantras, mudras, tantras, sutras, whatever the case may be, even if you're doing a little tantra, right? The energy has to be pulled from somewhere and then utilized. That's why when I tell why not, yeah, bro, you're doing your TK, but like I'm on some other level shit, and he thinks I'm bullshitting with him. I'm literally on some other level shit, nigga. Like, I'm literally using biochargers, nigga, to charge my physical body. Like, I'm literally electrifying myself to
so you should be moving
you
should be moving heavier objects. That's all I'm saying. If that's true, you should be better than me.
You have to understand with the moving objects and all that other shit. That's one type of kinesis, and that physical kinesis of moving shit comes with syncing and unifying your plane of inertia with your 0 point of body and the mind and the 12 points of the brain that sync up with the pineal gland. That's an all magnetic structure that all three have been tampered with since birth. So
that nigga, why not trying to be poltergeist, nigga?
No, I'm just saying, like for instance, when you're born, they do a specific massage on the baby's head to move the energy away from the soft spot. The soft spot is the crown. That's where all the energy is supposed to go. You feel me?
Right. So when it comes to telekinesis, I would have to disagree. You was correct about 90% of what you said, but I have to disagree respectfully.
With
as
what?
As far as when you in the beginning when you were saying, so you think you just gotta focus on the object. You can't do that because you got too many other things to focus on. So that's why I say me and you, Goo, we teach totally different, because I teach in TK. You feel me? It's visualization and breathing, just like the spirit shower. But after the visualization, before your intention even start to build up to move an object, you visualize, and then the mind must become void of thought while raising the intention. This is why it's so hard for a lot of people to do TK, and I ain't finna be long-winded, just about 30 more seconds. It's hard for a lot of people to do telekinesis, because telekinesis when you want to move an object, your mind has to become blank, void of thought. You feel me? But your intention has to still be raised. And that's kind of hard because it's hard to stop the mind from thinking. But if you can get the mind to quiet down, but still keeping that intention at a high level, then that shit gonna take place. Now, Goo, you said you have too much other things to work to focus on, and that's gonna stop you from moving objects without touching them because you're thinking.
So let me agree with you on one thing, but disagree with you on one thing.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna agree with what you're saying. I'm gonna agree with that, right? But where you're missing the needle thread pinpoint of TK is moving the thought of moving like visualizing it is because that's the simplest part of TK. Visualizing the movement is easy. Bam, I already visualized the thing moving, right? Now, I have to take that thought, and now I have to ramp that thought up with my own chi, and then I have to pulse that thought out, and then that's how the TK works. And I have to pulse that thought out with my heartbeat, syncing up with my breath, syncing up with the convulsion of my mind, and you learn convulsions of the mind when you learn hemi-syncing. Hemi-syncing is where you do this. And that's when you get that feeling, and it goes down your head, and it goes into your whole body, and your heart chakra goes, ah. And then when your heartbeat goes, when it does that second beat, that's the thrust. So when you let out that thought during that thrust, while you're holding your breath, or while you're exhaling it, depending on if you're pushing or pulling, gives off the wavelength of the thought intention of moving the object. That's kinesis. Well, that's
So
look, bro, look.
basically it's just energy projection. And I teach that. You feel me? I teach energy projection, because that's another way of looking at telekinesis too. Go ahead.
Ocean said, is TK how pendulums work? No. TK works with ghosts.
See, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Hey, Ocean. Yes.
Ghosts do TK. Yes. That's how they throw tables around when they in your house.
Hey,
and that's kind of true. He's not inaccurate, but it's not the same thing.
Pendulums are great for telekinesis practice. The people that I train with, they train with
bionic energy.
And I've trained with pendulums. You can make a pendulum out of this. You feel me? I can make this shit move. You feel me? Just by not even me holding it, but just by hanging it on a loose wall or some joint, see if I can at least sway it. You feel me? So
you're not talking about a freestanding pendulum? Or are you talking about an actual, like, the pendulum mechanics of something going back and forth from one point to the next? Because you can actually, when you do actual experiments with real pendulums, right, and you have like a bowling ball and you pull it back and you let it go, it's never going to hit you in the face, right? It's always going to get close, but never actually hit you. That's because of how the swing of inertia. Yeah,
you can make a pendulum out of anything.
No, yeah, but there's different types of pendulums. That's what I'm trying to explain. Yeah. Right? Yeah. There's the pendulums that we can just hold and try to affect with our mind and gravity. There's those ones that you see on the people's desks, right, where it has the ball and it hits one side of the ball and the other ball comes off. Or there's also those pendulums that can detect earthquakes.
I mean, yeah, but overall, like the pendulum that Ocean was talking about, they great for telekinesis practice. And get you a light pendulum, nothing as heavy as a stone or anything. Get you something light, you feel me, and just practice. You can practice with anything, like, you feel me? And that's what I say. Shit. Hey, motherfucker got us on YouTube, Goo. Motherfucker got us on YouTube. Let me show y'all this shit, bro.
They say we on YouTube.
They clapping us right now, bro.
Hey, that's hard though.
You see that, Goo?
Yeah.
They clapped your live, Joe.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I fuck with whoever doing that though. You feel me? Whoever that is.
Yeah.
Whoever that is, because I looked at their page and they ain't on no, you feel me? They ain't on on no slandering shit. No, they ain't taking clips and putting false captions up there. So that's cool, you feel me? I don't mind, Joe. I just be having a problem with
Well,
these bitch ass niggas like World News, Kulu
since
now.
they got us on YouTube, let's speak more knowledge. Just speak more knowledge.
Wait, who put us on YouTube?
Don't worry about that. It don't even matter. I don't even care. Don't care. Don't care.
I'm just trying to get my coins. I need to know so I can share it on my page.
Well, just somebody send it to Soccer Mom in his DM. Just continue the knowledge. Just continue that, because that's why they got us on there in the first place.
So
but y'all on the right path with how TK. So let me ask you guys a question, right? Because I want to build on what Ynot was saying about how you can the visualization and stuff. So have you guys ever got a craving for like a food or something like that, right? And sometimes when you get that craving, you can taste it or you can smell it, right? Those are all those we call those the clairs, right? You have clairaudience, clairvoyance,
yep.
And there's another clair with the taste. There's another clair with a bunch of different clairs, right? So those are your senses, right, that are opening up to what it is that you're wanting. So subconsciously, right, you're creating the visualization of the item or of the object, but you don't actually have it, right? But it's still a form of TK. It's still a form of telekinesis because you are, in fact, smelling or tasting that exact thing that you are now craving in your mind, right? So another form of also TK, right, was what I was talking with God the Human in the chat, was remote viewing, right? How often do we go into a REM state, right, or we're supposed to go into a meditative state and you want to empty the mind, that we have to put ourselves in a place of pure peace, right? So we go back in time, space and time, in a place where we were at a place of true peace, right? Or true solitariness, where we can have that image that we can recall back from to actually put ourselves in that meditative state. So which is also another form of TK, right? And then we're able to remote view other locations in you know, like people give you a place to go find, right? The CIA has already proven that remote viewing is real, right? The Russians were doing it. We're doing it still. And even now with astral projection, right, it's also another form of this telekinetic ability. So building on top of it.
So a way that I teach what you're talking about. So like first you have to understand the light body, then you have to understand inner projection, then you have to understand astral projection, then you can do like remote viewing. And like I don't really practice it a lot, but I've done it before, and then I've documented myself doing it. And what I've done is when I sun gaze, I pull in the light, and when I pull in the light, I expand the light, and I try to make the light as dense as possible. So when I look away from the sun, it's right in my spectrum. And then I mold the light into what I want it to look like. And usually it's a phoenix, because a phoenix is a cross with an X on it, and then it goes upward, right? And so with that phoenix energy, that taps into all four corners of your brain. And when you tap into all four corners of your brain, you're tapping into all of the melatonin, oxytocin, serotonin, all the oxytocins. There's four of them. I can't remember all of them. It's like mela, oxy, sera, and I can't remember the fourth one. It's the other melanin. But and then there's the balance of the hormones, which is the male hormone and the female hormone, which is what is it? Remind me. The testosterone and estrogen. And so when you have all these things balanced within the light body, because this is what the light does for you. The light is what actually balances all of these things, because it takes focus to actually put the light together through the beta point, through the alpha point, and then the theta and the gamma and the delta point. It takes concentration to do that within the mind, right? But when you do it with sun gazing, it's easier. So I tell people that after you sun gaze, right? When you sun gaze, go into that meditative state and focus on that light. And when you focus on that light, go into the light. And the way that you go into the light is through convulsions of doing this.
That's pseudo, bro. That's pseudo, bro.
No. There's an actual science that Montauk Chia talks about where he maps out the entire body through the is it the precision or the brain, right? So like when you cross your eyes and you look up, you're looking at this part of the brain from the neck up. But when you look forward, you're looking at the heart. But when you look down, you're looking
You
at
mute, bro.
who, me?
Who you say the creator of that knowledge was?
Montauk Chia.
So how you know he wasn't a pseudoscientist and you just learned some pseudoscience? Because that
What does
sounds
that
pretty
matter?
pseudo.
What does that matter though?
That sounds pretty pseudo. I gotta cross my eyes and look
But
at the
he
back
had,
of the brain
but
to get to a higher state
but
of
you have to
consciousness.
understand something that you're calling pseudoscience, right? He's done the scientific method to improve that it does or doesn't work on, different types of people. So, you can take that or leave
Because
that.
okay, so what's the purpose of that for? Crossing eyes and going in and out of convulsions. What's the purpose of that?
To control the electromagnetism of the body. So the electromagnetism of the body is controlled through the convulsion of the body, which is an oscillation that goes up, down, but that has to be weaved. And the way that you weave it is with light, and that's what we're talking about, the needle into the thread, right? Or the needle or the thread into the needle hole, right? And that's where the light is, because when you look straight forward, and when you close your eyes and you look straight forward and you picture a dot right there, that's the light inside of your head literally working. This isn't pseudoscience. This is actual physics, right? This is the neurons in the head that you're seeing actually lighting up. So when you cross your eyes and you create tension and you create focus, you're creating neurological exfoliation. You're creating it to activate. So when you do that with the strain, you're controlling all the neurons to go into a point, right? And when you go into a point and when you create that pressure, the pressure of that holding the light in the mind and the pressure of the crossing the eyes with the breath and the heartbeat actually creates the light in the body. That's the actual understanding of the Christos.
So I asked you, what's the light of the body? Because I know exactly what the light of the body is, and it's not adding up to what you're saying. So I'm just trying to get an understanding of
then you probably have a colonized version of what the light is, because I can give you what the light of the body is in many cultures, all equaling the same thing.
Somebody say Brother Sanchez talks about this in YouTube, and Brother Sanchez is a pseudoscientist. And I know you fuck with Brother Sanchez.
Yeah, I know I do.
Let me give you some right knowledge and understanding.
I think Bro Sanchez, but I don't think he on pseudo either.
He big pseudo. He flat earth all day.
I don't
flat earth all day.
Big pseudo.
I don't care if
you're flat earth all day.
He flat earth all day.
Whatever, but you have information that is constant, then you have to flow with constant information.
So
hey, I got a question though. I got a question though.
Hold on, let me real quick. I ain't gonna be long.
Especially if you experience it.
I'm gonna give you some right knowledge and understanding about the light of the body. What is the light of the body? And you ain't gonna never hear nobody say this, because I learned this from life itself, which is nature, the natural nature of life. The light of the body is conscious awareness. Point blank, period. Conscious awareness. You feel me?
No.
So that's it. That's what the light of the body is.
That's pseudo.
That's a Bob.
It's not pseudo.
That's pseudo.
It's a Bob.
How is it pseudo and you ain't?
That's as pseudo as you saying peace meaning harmony, bro.
Hey,
it's a Bob.
10 seconds. You ain't even like here to like. So it's gonna be pseudo to y'all, but people that know real shit, you feel me, Joe? It's gonna resonate, because the light of the body is consciousness. And you can do all that you just said without crossing your eyes, without going into oscillation. You know what the oscillation is? Is the breath work you put in, the breathing, the inhalation and exhalation. You're creating breath. So you don't have to cross your eyes, look at the back of the brain, go in and out of convulsions to reach a higher state of consciousness, or to control, or to enhance your electromagnetism, as you say. The breath will do that, bro. That's why
But
I'm
why
I
saying
agree.
not?
like
Where does consciousness come from?
I'll
Why
be
not?
honest with you, bro. From your explanation of what the light is,
suck 'em,
you don't know
suck
what
'em
the
up.
light is, and
That is
you
light.
haven't worked with it. Let me
Conscious
explain something to
awareness.
you.
Go
Let me
ahead.
explain
I say
something
it's
to you.
conscious awareness. What is it?
Okay, but what I'm saying is, right, the reason why I know you don't know what you're talking about, right, is because when I talk about the light, I'm actually talking about like picking up a lighter and sparking that bitch and hitting your fucking blunt and getting high off of it. You're talking about I'm gonna pray
Conscious
for you.
awareness.
I'm gonna pray for
From the
you so you
source.
can get you some money,
Right.
Sister
Conscious
Magdalene.
awareness.
It's the
No.
Lord up there. It's working
No.
for us, okay? That's
No.
what you're doing. In
No,
the
I'm
sense
not.
of saying
I don't
that
even
the
believe in
light
that.
is whatever you say. What do you say?
Conscious
Something
awareness. It
consciousness?
gets no higher than
Consciousness
conscious
awareness?
awareness. It gets no higher than conscious awareness. Conscious awareness is the pinnacles of the light. It's the reason the
Right,
light
but what about
exists because you
subconscious
are aware.
awareness, nigga? What about subconscious awareness?
Let
And the
me tell you.
subconscious awareness,
So
hold on,
look though. Hold on. I
but
can tell you
subconscious
about
awareness is
subconscious
only a
Hey, yo,
awareness.
pin,
guy,
is
yo.
only a pin needle thread
I
thick.
can tell you about subconscious awareness without the pseudoscience, with right knowledge and
You're
overstanding.
just saying pseudoscience, though.
Subconscious awareness is when you're sleeping, the dream state. Conscious awareness is when you're awake. That's the difference between subconscious and conscious. Sleep and awake. That's it. Without
Not
all the
not
science.
exactly. Not
It
exactly.
is.
There's
It is.
there's
Nah,
When we
levels
bro.
to
talking
the
about
supple.
when we
That means
talking
that you
about
don't see. That
when
means
we
that you
talking
don't even
hold
know the
on.
different
When
layers
we
of
talking
sleep.
about aware, when we talking about being aware, you're aware when you sleep. That's your subconscious mind.
But let me
And when
say
you're
this,
No,
bro.
awake,
you're
Let me
when
when
say
you're
you're
this.
aware
aware
when
when
you're
you're
asleep,
awake,
you're
this
peak.
is the conscious mind. When you're
Let
aware
me
No,
when
say
you
this,
when
wake,
bro.
this
you
is
Let
the
me say
conscious
this.
mind.
Any
You have
any
REM
form
sleep,
of,
all type of forms of sleep.
but I'm gonna say this though. Any form of awareness is not the light inside of us, because the light inside of us don't have nothing that can prove or a consciousness, no awareness, because it is all things. It don't have to be aware of nothing.
Oh, come on, man.
So let me
G,
ask. Hold on.
you
Let me ask
pseudo.
you this. Why not? Wait.
If you,
Let me
bro,
ask you this. Why
if
not? Let me
what
ask
we
you this.
call,
Why not?
listen, this is what I'm saying.
Hold on.
What we
Hold
call
on. Let me ask
our
this question
source
before I forget it. Let
energy.
me ask this question before I forget it. Hold on.
Okay, go
Why
ahead.
not? You said that the light, right, is subconscious awareness. So
No,
you
conscious
tell me
awareness, because we're awake.
how do you work with and how do you malleate subconscious awareness?
Well, awareness creates, you feel me, reality through perception. So this is how, you feel me, your reality is created through your awareness. Now, if you're awake and your your conscious awareness is creating reality, then this is conscious awareness. But if you're asleep and your awareness is creating reality, this is subconscious awareness. The subconscious mind holds the memory. You feel me? The
Bro,
subconscious
that's
mind, the
But
subconscious
you
mind
can
holds the
still
memory.
imprint. You
When
can
when
consciously
you
imprint on the subconscious, though.
this what
So
I'm saying.
the
Hold on, G.
subconscious
Let me answer
isn't
his
separate,
question. Let
but
me
it's not
answer his
separate.
question.
You're wrong when you're saying it's
Can I
separate
ask?
from the
It
conscious
is.
mind.
It is. You have three. See, let me give y'all right knowledge and understand. I'm gonna just take
Go ahead.
15 seconds with this.
Go ahead, G.
When we talking about the mind is separate from the brain. The brain is physical. The mind is metaphysical. Now your mind is three-parted. You have conscious mind, you have unconscious mind, and you have subconscious mind. The conscious mind is this awareness that we're awake, experiencing reality right now. This is conscious. When you fall asleep, before you get to dream, I'm talking about sleep where no thought exists. This is unconscious mind. It's a place that we all go to every night. And then you go into dream, which is the subconscious mind. All three of these pieces of the mind make up one mind. Conscious, unconscious, and subconscious. So you have to understand
Okay.
the perspective and why I say these things, because
Okay.
this is right
No,
knowledge though.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Why not? But also, you have to understand too, the subconscious mind doesn't stop working though, right? Even though we're conscious, right? It's
Yeah.
Because
still
the
existing.
subconscious mind is
Even
connected to the heart.
yeah. So even
That
though
can be
it's
pseudo. That
still
can be pseudo, G.
well,
That's not pseudo. I can
It
prove
is.
that to you.
It
I can
well,
is
prove
the
that to you.
the
because the subconscious
subconscious.
mind can't be. It's not tangible. The heart is a
It
tangible
is.
thing. So
It
how
is.
you can?
It is actually. It is
Nah.
tangible because when you
Oh
say
wow.
things,
Come
when
on,
you
G.
say your mantras or affirmations, you imprint on the subconscious mind. That's the whole thing we do when we're changing our lifestyle, or understanding. There's a book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. It's a book by Dr. His name.
What he's talking about, have you ever experienced being scared that your heart skips a beat? That's what he's talking about. It's imprinting. So,
But
like,
no, listen though, bro. He said the subconscious mind is when you sleep, and conscious
When
is
you're
when you
dreaming.
awake.
No,
But when you
the
dream,
No,
subconscious
he
mind
said
is
the
when you dream.
unconscious mind. He said the unconscious mind
yeah,
is when you sleep. That's what he.
Unconscious is when you sleep. Conscious is
right,
when you're
fact.
awake, and subconscious is when you're dreaming. Those are the conscious minds. The three
But
parts
you
that I'm
gotta
coming
listen
from.
though. Listen though. Your subconscious is right now is active right now while we
That's
woke.
Yeah. So
that's what I
listen,
said.
can I
That's why you
respond
can
to that? Hey,
daydream. You
can I
can
respond to
daydream
that right
too.
now? Can I respond to that real
Go
quick?
ahead. Go ahead. Why
You're
not? Go ahead.
absolutely right. The subconscious mind is active right now because your subconscious mind is storing the information, the light
Fact.
codes, and the
I
sound,
just said
smells,
that.
taste, feeling, touching, everything.
But
Imprint.
you
I
said it
just
was
So
said
in
look
a
that.
though.
dream though. You said
Hold on,
dreaming though.
Yeah.
real quick. I'm finna get to that. The subconscious mind is always taking in information.
This
This is the
nigga.
memory. It holds the memory. Now, the subconscious mind, when you fall asleep, the conscious mind is filtered out through the subconscious mind. You feel me? So it's being filtered out. You feel me? Everything that you was experiencing, all the information that you was taking in, getting stored in your subconscious mind when you was awake, now that's being filtered out in the dream realm. You feel me? So the dream realm is the subconscious mind. Even though the conscious mind is always intaking information because it holds the memory, kind of like the Akashic records. If we want to say
but
what the
then that
Akashic records is, I would say
holds
the
the
Akashic
debate: is
records
the
is the
astral
subconscious
realm
mind.
and the dream realm the same realm?
They is
They basically are though.
look
I wouldn't
real
agree
quick.
with you on that.
All right, let me break it down. When you sleeping, when you dreaming, and when you dreaming, when you sleep, that's the astral planes. When you go into the dream, you're in the astral planes.
So
The
there's
only
three levels of sleep, though. Just remember that, Brody.
okay, I get that. But look though, when you sleeping and you go into a dream, you're in the astral planes. Now, what makes dream and astral projection different? Sleep and awake. If you dreaming and if you went to sleep and you astral projected, you wouldn't say, yo, I astral projected in my sleep last night. You would say, I just had a dope ass dream. But if you go into a dream state while awake, now this is astral projection, and you daydreaming. That's why I teach daydream is astral projection.
And okay,
because
so if you say that,
because
then
the
when you
difference
become
between,
aware in your dream, that's astral travel too.
of course, that's a form of astral
That's
travel.
called lucid dreaming.
Lucid.
Anytime,
Yeah. Lucid.
any
REM
any
sleep, as they would say.
anytime you
Yeah, because
feel me
like they're not putting into
experiencing.
perspective the aspects of the three forms of sleep and the three states that the body goes into that has to do with the actual brain, not the
Yeah.
mind, the
Beta,
actual
theta
brain,
waves, and
and
then
But
then
nah,
and then
but
the
see,
state that the heart goes into, which is theta,
that's a
and then the
fact.
state that the body goes into, which is depending on how deep your sleep is,
mm-hmm.
depending on how deep you go into theta mode, depends on how deep you go into what you would call an astral projection, which is now that's called a delta state.
Exactly.
That's you going outside of the actual projection. Delta, just like Delta Airlines, how they project themselves across the world, right? They go, that's the concept of putting the alpha, the beta, sparking the light, and then using the X factor to pull the light. And then when you can pull that light inward, when you learn how to do the meditative convulsions, and that's the point where you stick the thread through the needle hole. That's where you push the light through the needle hole, and it goes into your subconscious. And that's where you can start experiencing inner projection. And then once you experience inner projection, then you'll experience astral projection. Because a lot of people experience inner projection thinking that it's astral projection when innately it is the same thing, but it's
Same
inside
thing.
of the body, not outside of the body.
Well,
They're
astral projection.
experiencing the universe inside of their physical body and not actually coming outside of their body and experiencing the astral planes. That's
So
why you
look
can
though,
have a dream. Hold on. That's why you can have a dream. The dream is held within the body. The dream is not held in the astral state or in the astral realm. The dream is within the body because the body is the
That's where the
unit.
astrals are, bro.
Exactly.
Well,
The
no, no, no,
astral,
no, no, no,
the
no,
dream,
no, no. You have to
the dream is
understand.
internal, and the astral plane is an internal thing too. Nothing is
Yeah,
outside of the body. The astral, when
it's
you
all
Hold on,
astral
hold
within the
on.
projection,
How
mind.
can
it's
you
an
say
inner
that the
thing.
astral plane is inside of the body? Explain that. I want to hear this.
Because when you close your eyes and you go to sleep, you're having an inner body experience. We can say outer body, but it's really an inner body experience. It's happening inside of your mind, not outside. The astral planes is not outside of your mind. It's not a physical place we go to outside of the mind. It's somewhere inside of the mind that has to be tapped into. You feel me? That's why dream and
Okay, so let
astral,
me.
the dream realm and the astral
But that's
plane
the
is the
thing
same
too.
place. It's the same
That's
place. The difference is sleep and awake. When you're awakened, you astral projection. When you awaken, you in a dream state, like daydream, this is astral projection. But if you sleep and you astral project, this would be considered as a regular dream. So the difference
but
is
see,
sleep
but
and
let me
awake.
say this though. This the paradox part. Because when we saying the sleep or the awake is what's determining it, technically this would be the dream as well, because once we go inside the self and we go to this astral plane, it's now seemingly projected outside of us for us to
Outward.
experience it once again.
That's why you have to understand, or you have to overstand in this state, because this is an overstanding intellectual conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You have to overstand that dreams are projected inside of you. They're not projected into the astral plane.
So look,
When
can
you
can
when
I
you wake up inside of your dream, you're inner projecting. You're not astral projecting. There is a difference. You
That's
same
have
the
to
thing?
same
understand.
thing,
That's
bro.
the same thing. Without
No,
saying,
it's not. It's not. There is a mental overstanding
Because what you
between
trying to say
inner
is
projection
basically
and
the
astral
astral
projection.
can come outside.
exactly, and it's not. It's inside.
Right,
It's
but bro,
inside
but
of
bro,
your
but bro, but
mind.
bro. But
Is
listen,
that
bro.
what you
Listen, bro.
saying?
But listen, bro. What I'm
But
saying is, right?
I
Listen to me. Listen to me. What I'm saying is, when you astral project, when you sufficiently astral project, you close your eyes, go into the state, and then you wake up in the astral, in the light body, and you come out of your body and you go and surf the fucking web. Okay,
Hey, so
that's what.
hey, Goo, you know,
Let me
I,
finish
I,
this statement. Let me finish
okay,
this statement.
go ahead, bro.
And you surf the astral planes, right? When you lucid dream, the light, which, because what a dream is, I don't know if y'all have done the science on what a dream is, right? But what an actual dream is all of the visual light that you've taken in through the time of you being up, and all of that information funneling through a small point in your head, and it's projecting out thoughts that you pinpoint through the needle hole that create thoughts. That's why you don't remember all of your dreams. Some people do because they have clairvoyant minds, and that means that pinhole is a little bit bigger than others, right? But what I'm saying is when you're lucid dreaming, you wake up while that light is funneling through that little pinhole that is now, because all that light is now going into your body. That light is being distributed as different things throughout your body. That's why it's called your imagination, because the nation is the image, which is your body. The image is the cells. The cells take in all of the memory that you take in through light. When you
But
experience things, that's why when you go into those 3 states of sleep, which is you go into the first sleep, the second sleep, and then REM sleep, right? It's the 3 states. That has to do with the physical brain, the physical heart, and then the entire body, right?
but
So,
see, this
like,
my smoke with
Are
that.
we?
My
Hey,
my smoke with
I
that is
want to
this.
go ahead, because I don't agree with none of this.
Yeah, my
Man,
smoke
Go
with
ahead,
that
G.
is
I'm
go
gonna,
this.
look
I'm
up
gonna
the
have, before
science
you
of
start,
dreams. They
going,
explain it.
I gotta,
They explain it more technologically than what I
I'm
just
a,
did.
no, I'm a,
But
I'm a,
they'll
I'm
give
gonna
it to
go
you
with
just
the
like that.
science. I'm gonna go with the
hey,
science.
I
This
gotta dip out real quick, guys. But it was great building with y'all. We all intellectual here. We all got a good understanding of a lot of stuff. And this is how it is. This is how it will always be. So when we can come together like this and have these reports, it's good, right? It's good for not only the community but for ourselves. And when I say self, I mean CELLPH, because it's good for the cells too. to have these conversations. And so, peace and love and all unity to all y'all. I gotta drop down and take care of my
Peace,
kids.
God.
Fuck that
Peace,
peace
peace.
shit, but unity, God.
But this
Man,
my
hey,
this
peace
my
and
smoke,
healing.
Unity
Peace
bro.
and
too,
healing, man. Peace and healing,
This
God.
my smoke.
Hey, but
When
go
we
ahead, though, man.
when we
This
know
shit
the
crazy,
science
man.
of how our reality exists, it's not that this world is really outside of us. So
It's
when
not.
our eyes is looking like our body is right here in front of us and all of that, to astral project into what seems to come outside into this body would literally be to go into a part of this realm, which is literally being inside of our head, projected out. So this world
Exactly.
ain't
All right,
really
so
out here. It's
God,
in
God,
here. So to
God,
hold on, listen, this is what I'm
don't
saying.
forget something. But I
Hold
just
on, this
want
is
to
what I'm
add something
saying
to what
though.
you're saying.
Go
I
ahead,
don't
go
want
ahead.
you to forget. I don't want you to forget your alienation. Don't forget that. Because when you're speaking the way you're speaking, you're forgetting about all the national movements within the system, which is your body, which emanate outward. You feel me?
That's what I'm about to tell you. The body is the illusion.
Right, right.
So the body and everything in this
Exactly.
reality is a part of the illusion. It's just a picture inside.
It's
So
a
when you go
hologram.
to
It's a
astral
hologram.
travel out, if you look like you coming outside
Wait,
and you be like, oh, this
God, you're
my
forgetting
body,
something.
you entering the illusion. Meaning
Yeah,
God,
you
it's a
going in your
hologram.
brain, you going inside, but it look like it's going out. That's a part of the
but
Exactly.
movie, a part of the illusion.
God,
Go
Exactly.
you
ahead.
got to
So
remember the
so
illusion doesn't start with you. The illusion starts with self.
so
The
look though,
self
this what
is
I'm
the
saying though.
cell,
This what
right?
I'm saying though,
The
bro.
723 trillion cells in the body. I think I said the right number. I know it's
No, that's
700
wrong, bro. The illusion start with a light projection. The
Right,
cells
that's where I'm
are a
getting to.
part of
Wait,
the
wait, wait, wait,
projection.
wait. That's where I was getting to. That's where I was getting to. I wasn't inaccurate, but it starts with the self, right? But the self is the cell, like what he was talking about, right? But the cells have the mitochondria, or no, the chromosome, right? And the chromosome is like a little sun, and that sun holds information, right? And that information is the light that is traveled from the distribution of light wave particles that are being experienced through all senses, where it doesn't have to just be the eyes. You feel me what
So
I'm saying?
this what I'm
Nah,
saying about
nah.
okay, so when we dealing with astral projection, you feel me? I do teach. I give one-on-one consultations on how to properly astral project, and it's very effective if you follow the prompts. When we talk about astral projection is when you have an out-of-body experience, where as to you need an astral body in order to travel the astral planes. So it's like that's why I say when we dreaming, we astral projecting, but we don't call it astral project. We call it sleep. I mean, we call it dream. Why? Because we're sleeping. If we was awake and we did the same thing, that's considered astral projecting. But if we sleep and did it, it's considered a dream. So how I teach you, I teach how to create a not a light body. That's good terminology. An astral body, because you need an astral body in order to travel the astral planes.
What is an astral body? A body you make with your ass? What is an astral body?
Let me explain. An astral body is the vessel
Is a light body.
that you can say it like that, but you don't teach this. You feel me? I teach, so let me teach real quick. An astral body is the body you create to travel the astral planes. You feel me? Because without a body, you won't be able to express your consciousness. Even without, this is an astral body right here. This solid three-dimensional body. This is an astral body, and without it, we can't express our consciousness. So if I didn't have a body,
Ass on a body.
if I didn't have a body and I was in the astral planes, I would just be an infinite wave of possibility, just infinite awareness with no way to express it. This is what bodies are used for. So I teach how to create a light body. I mean, not a light body, an astral body, and how to project self into the astral realms. You feel me? And you do this by
Hey, why not?
daydreaming.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Go ahead.
Have you ever done the etymology on the word astral, bro?
Of course, it means from the stars. But when we're speaking about,
Have you gone deeper?
I mean, I know that's what it originally means. Astral means from the stars.
It's not what it originally means.
Okay,
It was
but I mean,
it was taken. It was from the stars. That's I can't even remember. I'm thinking Latin, but I don't think that's accurate. But I remember it was from astral came from it was from I think it goes back to Mediterranean. It goes back not even that's not the right accurate Mediterranean. What is it? Mediterranean. Damn it! But no, it was a food. It comes from a food. I'm trying to think of the food. It was like a pasta, and like it was like you just do you just do it. Like I got a minute. I got a minute and 38 seconds. I'm gonna restart my live. I'm gonna go get that information real fast too. I'm gonna restart my live though. Y'all come back.
Right.
Ass up if you do something to somebody that's my color. But now that I'm out, I realize like
what
I
he was
can't
talking
blame,
about. You understand why he came to you like that.
I can't blame it on no white man. I can't blame it on the Mexicans. I gotta blame it on myself for one product of this environment, and I help keep it alive. And now, you know, like we come across each other, and as black men, we naturally got that warrior in us, so we naturally engage aggressive. If one person just was like, bro, it ain't got to be like that, it digresses the situation. I done had to do it like twice this week. I had somebody, I'm behind tent in a different direction coming from grocery shopping. I had a brother pull up on the side of me, roll his window down. I still ain't rolled my window down. I'm looking out the seat. I'm looking at my wife like, what the hell? He's mugging my window. I roll the window. What's up, bro? He like, nigga, what'd you say to me? I'm like, bro, I never seen you in my life. I don't know you, bro, right? So I'm thinking, okay, once I tell him I don't know him, he's like, nah, nigga, what'd you say to me? I said, listen, brother, I've never seen you in my life. For one, you going this way, I'm going this way, I'm behind tent. How would I say it don't make sense? I said, go on about your business, man. I don't know you, brother. And if you feel like I apologize, I apologize. 3 minutes later, nigga, what'd you say to me? I showed this nigga a flashlight. I said, if you don't know me, you don't want to get to know me. That nigga turned right. He said, I ain't from here. I said, I can see that. I'm from here. Get up out of the way from me, nigga. I done told you 22 times. We have no problem, brother. Go on about your business. And this is what I'm talking about by how hard it is to tell a brother, nigga, I don't want to have no violence with you. Not because I'm scared of it, because I know what happens when two brothers have an altercation. This is what we know is going to happen. Either both of them is going to leave that situation fucked up. One might not be breathing, but we do know the repercussions. Another nigga, after he take this life, goes and does life. You feel me? So it comes a time when as brothers, we got to say, hey, look, nigga, I don't want to send you to jail. I don't want you to send me to hell. Vice versa, how we can get out this situation and both feel like we left the situation as men. It's simple. We're digressing the situation.
It ain't simple, my brother, because like we was taught by the system, and when I say the system, not in no racist way. We was taught in a very cunning way, in a very subtle way, by college, by school, that fight or flight. So either like you a gangster or you a bitch. But by like true walking it out, by true experience, you learn, man, nah, unity, talking it out is the best route. So that's why I wanted to bring you up, because you're a real nigga. So niggas that like real recognize real. I've been around a couple lives with you, so I already know like how you vibe. I know your spirit. So I know you was able to kick alive, and like you able to talk. You got the communication in you. Like, so man, what you talking is valid facts though. I'm just trying to edify what you're saying.
I tune into your life. You got to remember, if you see me tune in, I tune in because I'm listening. I don't tune in because I tune in because you're talking about something that I might need to hear, or something that I might need to hear to tell somebody else that I didn't have to hear to tell them. But you know what I'm saying? Like we get on here, and I see it when there's brothers on here and there's black people on here, and they enjoying the conversation and it's positive. Here, sometimes you see I get frustrated with people when they try to put this negative black image on us, this stereotype that we just violent, that we always looking to rob. You know, they got us on here like every corner we hit, we lurking for something. Where we gonna get some vegetables? You know what I'm saying? Some cornball shit. But the truth is,
like animals.
this is the truth. We're the most opening culture that you'll ever come across. I was in prison. I lived with an old white man that had MS. He wouldn't move out my cell. He was paralyzed, half his body. He told us, he said, the white dudes, they be beating me up, taking me to my store. Y'all open up the door, y'all move the rug and make sure I'm back from the bathroom and I got all right and nothing happened when I was in the bathroom. And we told him, we said, that's how we raised. I don't know no black man. I don't care if you say you got ass whoopers. You're not, we weren't raised to look at no old elderly person and walk past them. I wasn't. I grew up in the ghetto. Everything that we claim and bang was to help this, and it just, the white man helped us direct that energy into a negative. They did what they always do. They found a way to make us face each other. Instead, if we face the world together, we the strongest force they've ever seen. That's a fact.
So true, man. Facts.
That's a fact. You feel me? So,
and what you just laid down was a whole line of facts of how we ended up in slavery. It's because we were the most welcoming. We were the first ones in power. But since our welcoming spirit, they were able to come in and conquer. They were able to come in and divide. And since we are already divided, yeah, we was in power as a race, as a black. But then since we were divided as blacks, also in power, they were able to come in and conquer. Very, very easy.
Yeah, bro, that's still crazy to me. Like,
then you got to look at it like
still crazy.
Like you hear people on here, I've been hearing like younger generation now, they're saying don't read, don't get stuck in the past, but this is the truth of the past. This is the truth.
Right, and if you don't know the past, you could definitely repeat it.
You could definitely repeat it, yeah.
We've been repeating it, but this is the thing. You have to remember that where did colleges come from? Egypt. Who stole colleges and education from Africa? The Romans. When Alexander the Great evaded Egypt, he told him, why would I send the great scholars that I have to these black people when I could take it and we'll make it our own?
Everything they took was ours.
And this is the thing, masonry, the presidents, the Masonic order and all that shit. You have 36 degrees in America right now, right? But in Egypt they had 360 degrees of divine wisdom and knowledge. That's the full circle. That's the full circle.
And that's why they cut down the years. I mean, the days 365. But it wasn't always 365.
No, Alexander the Great told him, what you don't understand burns so they can't use it, and what you understand keep and will make more. So now, today, you'll have a white scientist come out saying, I discovered this mathematical equation. But in truth, he's been studying scrolls and figured out the hieroglyphic mathematics too.
Bruh, see, we was just talking about Elon Musk. See, some of that stuff that he coming out with was it's old technology.
Well, same
for real.
thing, man. We could go to Steve Jobs in the cell phone. A black man invented the cell phone. They got documentation.
All of that stuff.
Yeah, like the whole iPhone, all this stuff. Like he sold that documents over to IBM, which Steve Jobs worked with IBM. Like, man, this stuff go way deeper than we know. Black people invented almost every single thing now that's popular.
Just go read From Superman to Man by J.A. Rogers. Go read Message to the Black Man.
Hold on. Before you go too fast, let me write this down. Come on, you want to act like I got it down. You said From Superman to Man. What'd you say?
Superman to Man from J.A. Rogers is deep. It's telling you how we went from Superman to man. That's why it's Superman to Man. How did we go from Superman to just a man? So then you got that. You have the amazing facts about 100 amazing facts about the Negro with proof. I can't remember exactly the author. Then you have the miseducation of the Negro, which is a must read because it talks about some of the things about how we will rather go shop at Macy's than a Brothers retail store that carries the same or at least the best quality of.
Bruh, I'll be on that like, yo.
You want to read Sex, Race, Volume 1 through 3 by J.A. Rogers. You want to read from niggas to God. That's written. That's Elijah Muhammad, I believe, but it might not be. It's a ak. But message to the
That
black
from
man.
niggas to God.
From Niggas to Gods, Volume
Yeah.
1 and 2. It talks about the penitentiary and how they pass laws to incarcerate young black men as teenagers because it stops us from reproducing. So that's another form of birth control for African American male and women when you lock us up. African American men are able to produce 2 babies a year more than a white or any other race. Now, you might have some cases where they do have 2 babies, but African American men are pretty much able to produce 2 babies a year, where the most won't. And that's just a statistic that I. But But then you have that from Niggas to Gods. But a book that you should read is because it tells you the struggles of the first people that had to deal with racism after slavery. Is Message to a Black Man by Elijah Muhammad. That's what really made me start changing my mindset about when I get involved in altercations with brothers, not to resort to violence, because that's a natural instinct we've been taught. That's why the plantation had a brother guarding the rest of the slaves with a gun, because that's how he started to face us off against each
They
other.
said
That's
Message to a Black Man.
Yeah, Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead, my brother. My bad.
Know thyself. Know thyself is another it's another Muslim Nation of Islam book, but it's not the racial tone that you'll hear. But you got to remember that it was in the 60s and 70s when they were sicking dogs on people. So their tone about how they feel about white people is on
What's
point.
the name of that one?
That one is called That's Message to the Black Man, and then Know Thyself. Know Thyself is a must read too. Them two coincide with each other, and if you're into money, you want to read the Prosperity Bible. And the Prosperity Bible is a good read because it's basically telling you about putting stuff into your mind. Like if you believe that you're going to be a multi-millionaire and you continue to make your mind believe it and do the things in your life to put yourself in the positions to be a millionaire, then most likely out to a millionaire. And it tells you stories in history like Henry Ford. They took him to court because they said he was miseducated and they tried to take his company. And that was basically what they were saying. He shouldn't be able to run a car company because he hasn't been educated and it's unsafe. But then he made him drop the lawsuit when his words were, if I have the best people that do the best of everything I need them to do, why would I have to worry about it when I can call in one call and get the best person in the world to do whatever job I need them to do on those cars?
And he's a smart man for that. Like that's where unity comes in.
Yeah, and then you got to look at it like that. People are also misguided by education in the formal system and educating yourself. Like you going through, look at Steve Jobs. If you ever seen Steve Jobs, he did a speech for Stanford, and in that speech he said, it's funny that I'm standing up here speaking to you when I dropped out of college, but congratulations for getting through it. But his main topic in the speech,
at that same point, he had cancer too. Shit was crazy, man.
Yeah, and then the thing is, he said it. He said, I went to the public library and paid $5 for a pass and put myself through all the education that I would have had to pay $100,000 for. And look at me today. I'm better off than anybody I went to college. The company that hired him fired him. He came back with something better and made him hire him and let him lead the way, and they could never take it from him. So you gotta look outside of the realm of the normal cycle of life. We're taught to go to school, go to college, get a job, pay taxes, rent a house, and your biggest prize at the end of your life that they've led us to believe is owning your house and your property. So all our lives, we're really just living to rent until we finally get to an age where we say, oh, I got enough saved up. But if you listen to all the billionaires, black and white, the first thing they say is stop believing in the cycle that they've taught you. You're never going to go nowhere believing that you got to pay somebody for most of your life to get something that you want.
The biggest thing that all of us have to have is belief in self-belief, because without belief in self, you're not going to be able to accomplish any of the things, not even getting the degrees or being able to work and get the money. So at the end of the day, we just got to have that self-belief, because that's what every entrepreneur has at the end of the journey, is that belief in self, to tell itself each day to get up and do it. We got the same 24 hours, but we don't got the same work ethic. That's how we're going to separate ourselves as entrepreneurs. That's how we all got to separate ourselves. And this is how we got to come together and work and just believe, like, man, if we come together, man, we can do this better than anybody else. It's just that mindset, that belief in self. And at the end of the day, this is what they supposedly try to teach us in school. is that work ethic. So you got some people with high up degrees, PhDs, that you got some that haven't made it to PhDs that just got their masters. You got some people that just got their bachelors out there too, that will tell you school is the way. They will tell you this because they have been trained and they have been awarded for their level of discipline. But you don't need that certificate to go out and like be certified that you are disciplined. You can work on yourself by yourself. You don't need no white man to approve you, or no school, no paper to approve you that you got to pay $100,000-$200,000 to get. You're better off taking that money and investing it in yourself. Investing it by going to the library, like my brother saying.
I'll tell you this, I'll be checking in on you guys too, because I'm part owner of Coflix television channel. It's a live stream network that's in the process of being developed like Roku, where you can order movies, live stream, pay-per-view, on demand, and all that. But it's also gonna have live shows and podcasters and all the same shit like YouTube. But we're putting it together for people like us so that we don't have to be on here worried about them banning us for us speaking our mind about what we believe in, or if we're speaking about how we feel about white people or anybody. But hopefully, if you guys do follow me, that you guys can stay linked, because I was hoping to get like a podcast, and it's basically Black Mind Thoughts and Debates, to where it's basically a 24-hour channel. That's what you can do. You can come in, and if you find a conversation and you have an opinion, you'll get a chance to speak and have a moment of time to explain your side of what you're seeing. And I feel like that's big for us as a community right now, because we got to bridge a big gap before we even start. And the biggest gap that we have to bridge is the fact that our elders have a separation gap of communication for so long now, that we have to bridge that gap. Because if we don't get back to our elders in our community, we still gonna keep running around here like a lost tribe.
It's true. It's true. In order to be a great leader, you got to first be led, as I truly believe. Like, so you got to look up to the elders, man. Any person that knows about gangs or all that, man, look, we all looked up to the OG. And any real ones, we all had an OG. And no self-respect. They don't got no respect for others around them. That just whole line of the hierarchy, I hate to put it in those terms because I see that gets rejected a lot, but that's literally what it is. We can't just come off the porch thinking that we the boss without having any experience. So sometimes we got to peep game and look at the one who has went that way. And that's what the whole thing about the Bible is, When we get to Jesus, it's somebody that already went the whole way. Somebody that knows the beginning and knows the end, because he is it. And this is why, like, a lot of people can save themselves a whole lot of time with the Bible if they just study Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Look at the Gospels, what they call it. The story of Jesus. That's the only time that you see Jesus walking in the Bible. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. To take all the confusion out the 66 books in that Bible. It's a beautiful book. I love it. But at the end of
the story of struggle.
Yeah, I love it. I fully love it. And at the end of the day, it's just that, even Jesus, he never claimed the God. And that's what you see in that book. Like, he never professed like, oh yeah, I'm the Almighty. I'm big boss. Nah, he always gave reverence to the supreme creator. And like, that's very humble in a sense, because you don't see a lot of kings, and I'm talking like high up royalty right now. I'm not talking shrimps. I'm not talking like Rick Ross's and Jay-Z's. I'm talking like your popes right now. You don't see them giving true reverence. You see them acting like they are God. And that's one thing about Jesus. He never rode around like how the Pope do, being carried around inside of a, just being chauffeured, living his luxurious life, having his own city. Like, it's man, we've been sold a lot. We've been so big
Yeah.
like raising yourself up to the highest pedestal to feel like you're the boss. That's not it. That's why you see a lot of them people actually killing themselves at the top, because they start looking for peace, and then they notice they actually sold it all along the way to success. And that's just some programming shit, man.
The mother said, "We just enlightening the OGs who are still mentally enslaved."
Yeah, that's it. Because that's just some programming. So, like, what my brother doing with what's the network going to be called again?
Culture Flicks. It's Culflix, KULFLIX.
Yeah, man. What you doing with Culflix? That's going to be so massive to the acceleration of the mental growth here in America, because we've been on change for a while. We got a lot of old people who been trying to teach us, been trying to enlighten, all the way from the Muhammad's to the what Bobby Hamid. We got a lot of people. A lot of people that just did they journeys of putting out the truth. But as far as the media ways being able to push it, it has been suppressed. Like when I go and look at all these legends on YouTube right now, it's all shaky videos, it's all distorted, and it's not by accident.
Yeah,
that's not by accident.
It is like the streets right now. The streets are so wild right now. No, things are changing, and when things are changing, and whether it's positive or negative, you're gonna have a fight. You're gonna have a fight for it. And what you're seeing now.
Hey, hold on. I see. What's his name? DJ. Oh, did he leave? Oh well. I was about to answer his question.
What was his question?
Oh well. Now he was asking about the pinned comment, I think. But he spelled some stuff wrong. It said, "If I avoid, do I win?" But I think he mean, "If I buy, do I win?" He talking about the free week of being on that website. But you get entered to win if he, well, he ain't in here. But if anybody else want to know, you get entered to win if you buy a badge, basically. And only one person entered so far, so it looked like they won so far.
She came and chilled for a minute, so that's what's up. You gotta, it tell you when you end the live who actually bought those badges. So
yeah. I'm gonna save all the screenshots after I get off the lives on who did what.
But bro,
and then
about that app there, man.
Yeah. So the app is showing move.
And out of time, I control the time, out of mind follow what my gut know, what my thoughts show, my the body, I flow, intuition, how I know.